Hey everyone, my name is Jack Williams with
Ehsan Kassim.
and welcome to another episode of Seminole Script here, just going over the week ahead. We're getting to the end here of the regular season, going into what the unknown might be for the postseason here. But let's talk about right now. Let's talk about actually last week, quickly recapping Miami, always a big game here at FSU. Final thoughts on the Miami game?
It was I think we talked about it after. Rivalry game. You throw out the records. You throw out everything that happened the week prior. Miami lost 20-6 to Virginia Tech, I believe it was, or NC State. Sorry, NC State.
Yes.
NC State, and that does not matter. Miami came. They played with a good game plan of I think Duke played the same game plan. Clemson played with it. Is you're gonna muddy the waters and make it a slugfest where the offense is not able to score points, and you put pressure on Florida State. This defense to hold but it's a good defense as we saw. 7-point game. Really, if we want to be honest, one fluke touchdown on a deep play where they just had miscommunication a little bit, missed a tackle. He went for a touchdown. It could have been a 14-point game. So it was a close game. Florida State played well. Miami, credit to Miami, they played really well. They had a lot of fight in that one, especially after losing their quarterback in the fourth quarter. But it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. Doak was loud again. Sold out crowd. What were your thoughts, Jack?
I thought it was a similar thing too. It's obviously, like you said, it's a rivalry game, so anything really can happen in those kind of games. And we might see it again 2 weeks down the road when Florida comes around as well. And just that anybody really can win at any given time, no matter what the circumstances. And we really saw a tight game throughout, as you mentioned. It could have been a 14-point game. It ended up being a 7-point game. Weird things have happened in this rivalry before, so it wasn't too out of the book to say that Miami could have had a long pass towards the end that really could have shaken things up a lot. But Florida State was able to manage things. Mike Norvell and his staff talked about, just the way things have gone in the past in this game. They really didn't want to risk anything, so that's why we saw them taking timeouts a little bit more. We didn't see Mike Norvell going for it too much on fourth down and stuff like that. They were playing things safe into what they know throughout the game and straight down the line. It worked out the way they wanted it to. I think now when you're ranked 4th in the nation right now, this late in the season, you really don't want to mess up with things too much. So it was the right decision to make. It was an entertaining game once again. Doak, as you mentioned, it was loud, just a great atmosphere. Great first Miami, my first. No, it was your first one too, because your second?
Second. I got to experience it in Miami last year.
Okay, I can't remember if you traveled to that or not, but this is your second game. This is my first game, and it was a good first Doak experience for the both of us.
Yeah.
And getting that environment, stuff like that, just an entertaining game all around, and a good just booster. I think it just, in my opinion, it's a game that, didn't drastically, help Florida State, throw them to top of number 1 in the country, stuff like that, but didn't really do any damage at all to them. It was just, in my opinion, it was just a good game for them.
I don't think it mattered. Florida State won by 30 points or 7 points. They were going to be number 4 in the country this week, no matter what. I don't want to say no matter what, but if they won, they were going to be where they are. They're not going to jump Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. I don't think that the resume for that yet. I don't know if they will, but at this point, I just think that they are. That was a good win. You beat a rival. At this point, style points are nice, but at the same point, you rather get the win than worry about the style, because the style points mean nothing if you have one loss right now. Because I think that, like we talked about before, that would eliminate Florida State from playoff contention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was just they got the job done. They're moving on to the next week. It's these next 3 weeks coming up, including this week, are all important wins and stuff like that as well. They get a little bit more increasingly important, drastically important as we go down the line. Again, if they lose the game this week, that would be awful. But
if they lose the game this week, there's bigger problems.
They're fully out of the playoff picture.
It's not just out of the playoff picture. There's a lot of questions.
Something really bad would happen. But talking about this week coming up, what's the biggest thing that Florida State wants to get out this week, other than a win, but and other than being healthy and stuff like that? What's the biggest thing that Florida State should get out this week in playing, North Alabama?
So first of all, I think Norvell's hit on this I think all 3 times we talked to him this week. Is this is the last game of the game for a lot of seniors, including Jordan Travis. This game, to us, it's North Alabama. Who cares? 6:30 kickoff does not matter. Fans love the 6:30 kickoff. Players, I don't know if they do or not. But it does matter a lot because, it's been the last time they played Doak for a lot of these seniors. that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge deal. Like, this is... I did a story today on Wednesday. Casey Roddick talked about, like, you know, when he transferred here from Colorado, he had played a lot of Pac-12 stadiums, and he came to Doak Campbell, and he's like, damn, I'm really glad I'm not an opponent over here, because it's crazy. We heard it last week. You know, there's goldfish in the stands and everything. But
wild.
Yeah, it's wild. But no, it's a big deal. I don't think that you're going to see Jordan Travis play the entire game. I think it might be his last quarter, last half at Doak Campbell Stadium playing. Half would be extending it. Maybe that's one reason that they keep the starters out there a little bit longer, is because it's their last chance to play
senior night. Yeah,
senior night. You know, there's been a number of seniors honored. We don't have exactly how many. There's a handful of redshirt seniors to be honored that will be done for sure. Then you have the seniors. Then you have redshirt juniors who have an option of getting. You know, so hopefully we'll have a list before the you know, the game. That's what we're hoping. We'll have a story out if we do have that list. But to me, it's gonna be an emotional day as well. And Norvell also, like, I think I like what he said today. He was asked, he's like, you know, he wants, like, he tells people not to get distracted, but he said, take in the senior day, take in all this, because this is your last time here. So I don't think that's gonna play a factor against North Alabama. But it'd be interesting to see how emotional things are, because it's a big day. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact I think Jordan Travis put on his Instagram story. He's just going through the stories on our account. He was saying, like, damn, he's like, damn, it's the last game in the crib. Like, I think he actually said that verbatim. Like, it's a big deal for some of these guys and stuff like that. Just the fact that they won't get the opportunity to play again. Even some of the juniors that, you know, do have eligibility left that may not be here next year because of, you know, draft implications as well. Yeah, like you mentioned, like Norvell mentioned, take it in and stuff like that, but don't let it get in the way of what you want to accomplish at the end of the day.
Going back to what you said a little bit, going back to your story from that printed Sunday, or went up on Sunday, Jordan Travis, you know, grew up going to Florida State games because of his brother. So he's had long ties. You know, you have different people that are fans of Florida State growing up that came to this school. So the play at Doak Campbell is a dream. And, you know, it's a big deal to be able to have the opportunity, and a lot of they're going to see their FSU careers and at that stadium, obviously. They have 2 weeks left after that, minimum. Probably 3 weeks, because they're bowl eligible too. So 3 weeks at minimum, you know, where they have Florida, they have the ACC championship game, and then maybe 1 or 2 games, you know, maybe a bowl game, probably a playoff game.
If you win the playoff game. Yeah.
Second game. So there's a lot left for Florida State left, but this is the last one at Doak Campbell Stadium, so that's going to be interesting to see, like I mentioned, how players react, how Jordan Travis reacts, what that crowd reacts to him. Jordan Travis, you know, at one point talked about how he was booed off the field.
Yeah.
I believe that was Jacksonville State loss, where he was, you know, fans were not thrilled with what happened, obviously. But he's not going to be booed on Saturday.
No, I mean, he went from that happening to them chanting his name against Miami.
Oh, that was
just
beautiful.
Last week. I mean, you know, that was a fun game as well. I mean, there's going to be plenty of opportunities in this North Alabama game, as much as Norvell and these coaching staff don't want to talk about it right now. But, I mean, from your opinion, who do you think is a player that's going to have, in saying they're going to empty the bench, who do you think is a player that's going to have, like, we haven't seen all season, or really has got some playing time all season, made a play here and there? Who do you think is going to be a player that's going to explode in this game?
Well, I mean, the obvious one's Brock Lynn, but I'm going to go Vandrevius Jacobs, wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's been fun to watch play this year. You know, had a great spring camp, fall camp, kind of was hurt a little bit, banged up. He's been in and out of the lineup a little bit, but he's a explosive player. Really going to have a huge role next year, along with Destin Hill and Hakeem Williams.
Oh, yeah.
When more than likely Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson move on. Ja'Kai Douglas obviously should be there. Kentron's going to be there, but this kid is talented. He's fast. He makes every catch thrown to him. He's fun to watch. So I think that's going to be someone, like, probably bold prediction, he scores a touchdown.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll lock it in for there then. I'll keep you to that. But I think, we'll do our score predictions in the podcast, and then further down this story, so you can scroll down and find it there. But
and on Spotify.
Yeah, on Spotify.
Apple where we find your podcast, but we'll get to that later.
But I mean, there isn't too much more to talk about this game with.
Would you have a player?
I think I'm gonna go with another wide receiver too. I think Darian Williamson's gonna have a fun game. I think he's a guy that we've been seeing being a lot more active in games and stuff like that, and he stepped up into kind of a bigger role too when Johnny and Keon were out against Pitt. Obviously, Ja'Kai was the star of that game, but Darian Williamson played a really supplemental role. I think this is a guy that when you're talking about like kind of the next people coming up and stuff like that, this is someone that can really fill out that role there as well. We can see Dustin Hill doing a lot. He's a player we've heard a lot of all year and stuff like that. I don't think he's had like that breakout performance yet, and I think this could be his game too.
Not what I expected, to be fair. Fans got excited about Dustin Hill, the unknown, the player coming in. This is about, he's played a lot of, he's got a lot of snaps, he's played a lot, but he's a freshman that's, a few years removed from playing college, football.
Yeah, just football in general, yeah.
If I want to go to defensive player that we could watch out for, I'll throw out Blake Nicholson, linebacker.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about him.
He plays a lot of special teams, so he's someone I think Norvell will be excited to get out there and play. And he's a fun player. He's a talented player. Jack had a feature on him earlier this year about how he's finally honing in on one position where he's played multiple positions throughout his life. In high school, was a running back with ridiculous stats. He like whether if it was rushing yards and receiving yards too, that kid carried that team. Yeah.
I don't know what the football like is in Stockton, California, but he was a lot of what that team did. So I mean, you could plop him anywhere on this team, and he probably could have adjusted pretty well. But linebacker was a good position just because of his build, and he had to learn it too, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, one thing I'll say about practice is, man, I credit these players. It was pouring down today. It was cold
right now.
It's been a miserable day today. But the players are out there. There were some drops and stuff like that because I don't blame them because it's wet outside.
It's wet, yeah.
It's wet.
It's not easy.
It hasn't rained in Tallahassee in like months. It feels like, and it finally just decided at one time it's going to all come down at once.
Yeah, it's been raining for like 2 straight days.
Yeah, but it was a interesting practice where I agree with Norvell. There was a lot of energy there. There's a lot more energy you expect for a North Alabama week, so that's good to see.
It is, and then the rain and stuff like that, and he said something, and I was going to repeat it, and I can't remember. Oh, no, I was just going to make a joke about Jared Verse probably loving this weather right now, because Jared Verse, he went to school in Albany, so this is definitely his element. And Keon saying it was going to snow yesterday, too.
Yeah, making a joke about snow, that was hilarious. Braden Fish walked in today, and said he's like, I love this weather.
Yeah, grew up around around Michigan and Northern Indiana. Went to school at Western Michigan. Again, you got Jared went to UAlbany. Keon, who went to school at Michigan State. You got all the cold guys being like, "Oh, this is fine. I love this," and stuff like that.
Keon should know better about when it snows or not.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I don't know if it's ever gonna snow down here again. But like,
oh look, snow flurries.
It's not snowing. But I don't know. I think they understand how the weather works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would be I think it would be pleasant out if it wasn't raining.
Not
as much as it does, but
70-degree weather is nice.
Yeah, it's just raining all day. But anyway, we're getting off track.
Jack, where can they find us on socials?
Yeah, all of our stuff is at NoleSports.com, Knowles Sports on Twitter, X, Knowles Sports on Facebook, TLH Knowles Sports on Instagram, and then my X handle is Jack G. Williams, his is Ehsan_Kassim. Am I forgetting anything else?
And please like and subscribe. I think last week after the Miami game, we did an instant reaction after the game. Did really well, so we will probably bring that to you again this week, and we'll definitely have one after Florida. So please like and subscribe, and keep watching our videos. Check out the podcast.